Hey you guys, what's going on? Happy May to you. It's Soseztheleadr talking, back with another excerpt reading. So, after much perusing and much ruminating, I decided to read from this book, Darkness Rises Again. It's basically the series finale to the Fellowship of Light Dragon Warrior series, and as a whole, the series finale to Princess Luan and Wizard Hidaria. So, let's get started. This is basically the beginning of the book. It shows how the Dragon Warrior's enemy, Night Shroud, managed to resurrect himself into the physical world. So let's get started. Well, I think the worst is over, Princess Luan told the other girls as she set the Orb of Nameless onto a pedestal where the relics of darkness had been gathered in the Tower of Dragons. All 7 relics of darkness have been purified, which means Night Shroud will never get his full power back, Myrna Edwards, the redhead, added. I'm not so sure, Chimera, the blue-haired teenager, murmured. What do you mean, Chimera? Roxy Norrington, the mauve-haired girl, asked. The relics of darkness may have been purified, but something tells me it's not over yet, Chimera replied. Oh, come on, Chimera, Maya Sinclair, the girl with puce hair, protested. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Just then, a low humming filled the room as the relics of darkness began to glow an odd purple color, causing her to wonder, What's going on? Murda added. These relics look like they're giving off a dark aura. Dark aura? Maya repeated. But that's impossible. We purified them, so how could they be giving off a dark aura? Guys! Elise Masters, the brunette and Roxy's best friend, called out suddenly as she pushed her way up to the front of the group. What is it, Elise? Luan asked. Elise revealed the book Legends of the Scuffle of Darkness and Light, which Murda had checked out of the library almost a year ago. As soon as we brought back the last relic, the book started glowing, she reported. When I looked into it, it showed me this. She opened it to a page with large Old English lettering. What? Luan breathed as she eyed the words and read them. Warning, do not conjoin the 7 relics in one location. But we just did that, Galatea realized. But if the book told us not to do so at this point, what would happen if we did? Suddenly the dark auras around the relics intensified, eventually causing a huge explosion that knocked the dragon warriors off their feet. As Chimera struggled back onto her feet, she declared in a strained voice, Maybe something like that! After the others struggled back to their feet, the 7 girls watched as a black hole opened behind the now bare pedestal, and 7 points of purple glows appeared within. Something's coming, Luan realized. This doesn't look good. But what is coming? Galatea Winchester, the blonde and white, wondered. I think the end, Chimera replied, as the points of purple light became a purple swirl within the black hole. A moment passed, and the purple swirl intensified as it exited the black hole. As the dragon warriors watched, that swirl began to change shape into that of a humanoid, seemingly with horns on the top of its head and odd feet that resembled hooves. It looks evil, Luan noted. I know, Chimera agreed. I can feel it. But Night Shroud shouldn't be able to sense the presence of the relics anymore, Murda protested as Morgana entered the secret room. So why did they get destroyed, and why did that black hole why is that black hole there? Oh no, not that! Morgana exclaimed. What? The dragon warriors demanded in unison. When you purified the relics of darkness, you must have only been able to purify the part of them that was good, Morgana explained. The part that was good? Luan realized. So what does that mean? It means all the evil within the relics still exists, and I think that's what Nitrod is absorbing right now, Morgana told her. Of course, Murda murmured. When the elders got their hands on the relics of darkness, they used their light to steal away the shadow race. And since we're the Fellowship of Light now, we must have only been able to tap into the elders' abilities. So that means, Galatea began, the relics of darkness are now free of all light and goodness and have become evil incarnate again, Morgana confirmed. Nitrod sensed that as soon as we brought the 7 relics into the Tower of Dragons. So the evil essences of the relics, that's what Nitrod's absorbing? Luan realized. Exactly. His reign, Morgana replied, his reign of terror will be unimaginable if left unchecked. And I used to like the rain, Roxy moaned. Just then the humanoid shape reformed into a hulking figure, with horns and hind hooves of a bull, and the arms, chest, and hands of a humanoid muscular build. This newcomer wore the mask of the dark dragon on its face, with one of its eye holes replaced by the mystic eye of Agador. Its chest was clad in the 2-ton tunic as chest armor, in which was embedded the orb of Nameless within a chest compartment. Its right arm wore the manacle of Nemesis, and its left arm wore the gauntlet of Isis, while its index finger wore the ring of invulnerability. Night Shroud? Elise wondered, and Murda nodded with eyes wide. Many thanks for my freedom, dragon warriors, Night Shroud told them. Now it is time to surrender, yes! On that note, Murda raised her hands, conjuring a ball of fire within her palms. Eat flaming death, Night Shroud, she declared, and hurled the fireball at the Minotaur man. The fireball impacted with Night Shroud, causing him to explode into several particles of darkness. Then she told the others, let's get out of here! Luan nodded and ran for the door, leading the way out of the Tower of Dragons. Meanwhile, Night Shroud, the Minotaur man, thought to himself as his molecules reassembled, fools, they won't get far. Then he raised his arms and said, Dark Ones, I summon you! As soon as Morgana and the Dragon Warriors reached the ground floor of the palace, they were instantly greeted by odd disembodied shadows, causing Luan to exclaim, Hold on, everyone! I see it too, Morgana told her, before those shadows manifested into Night Shroud's shadow rays. But these shadow rays were all different in size and image. Some were the normal shadow rays that were summoned by the mask of the Dark Dragon. Some were razor rays, shadow rays with sharp claw gauntlets. Others were bat rays, shadow rays with bat wings. Another group consisted of samurai rays, shadow rays with samurai helmets and shadow swords. The last of the group consisted of squid rays, shadow rays with tentacles for arms, and crab rays, shadow rays with medium feet and crab's claws. Shadow Rays' greatest hits, Murda realized. On that note, she held up her Dragon Star power bracelet with a silver star embedded with a ruby charm and prompted, Ready! Ready! Luan, Maya, Roxy, Galatea, Elise, and Chimera all responded. They all revealed their bracelets, each one similar to Murda's, with Luan's being black and highlighted by an onyx, Maya's being a gold color and highlighted by a gold star with angel wings adorning it, Roxy's being emerald green and highlighted by an emerald, Chimera's bracelet being a violet color and highlighted by an amethyst, Elise's bracelet a bronze color and highlighted by a piece of amber, and Galatea's bracelet a bright yellow and highlighted by a small topaz fragment. The 7 girls struck a pose by holding their arms upright to reveal their bracelets. Then they thrust their right arms outward and touched the jewels embedded within them as they shouted, Enter the Dragon! Upon shouting that quote, the magic of the bracelets began to work on each of them. Murda raised her bracelet, finding herself engulfed in flames as it released them. Those flames were swirled around the girl and sent her twirling into the air. A moment later, she landed back on the ground, wearing a candy apple red tank top and skirt, complete with matching knee-high boots. Then a pair of orange wings sprouted from her shoulder blades, while the flame-sketched crest of fire materialized on the front of her tank top. Chimera raised her bracelet and found herself engulfed in a tornado funnel, which swirled around her and sent her twirling into the air. She landed back on the ground a moment later, clad in a form-fitting maroon two-piece, consisting of a cap sleeve, tank top, and shirt, and a skirt over a pair of knee-length shorts, complete with maroon satin pumps. As purple-colored wings sprouted from her shoulder blades, the tornado-sketched crest of wind appeared on the front of her tank top. Roxy raised her bracelet as a whirlwind of leaves escaped from it, swirled around her, and sent her twirling into the air as well. Landing back on the ground a moment later, she revealed an outfit consisting of a sparkling neon green top that came off her left shoulder, a pair of matching shorts that left a slightly exposed midriff, and a pair of knee-high neon green boots. Another moment passed, and neon green gossamer wings, inset with brown, sprouted from her shoulder blades, while the globe-sketched crest of earth manifested itself on the front of her green top. As Elise raised her bracelet, a blast of water escaped from it, swirled around her, and sent her twirling into the air. She landed a moment later, clad in a cobalt blue outfit, consisting of a perfect-fitting strapless one-piece knee-length skirt, complete with matching high-top sneakers. Blue gossamer wings sprouted from her shoulder blades, while the teardrop-sketched crest of water manifested on the front of her top. Galatea raised her bracelet and released a bolt of lightning, which swirled around her and sent her twirling into the air. She landed a moment later to reveal a loose-fitting knee-length skirt of cream color, complete with golden sandals that contrasted nicely with her main outfit. A moment later, cream-colored wings sprouted from her back as the green leaf-sketched crest of life appeared on itself on the front of her top. As she raised her bracelet higher, Maya felt the power of Inti surging through her as the spirit of the golden dragon escaped from the bracelet's charm ornament and swirled around her, changing her wardrobe. As Maya leaped into the air, her outfit changed from the normal leather jacket, blue-violet shirt, and blue jeans to a golden-yellow tank top and knee-high skirt, complete with matching sandals. As she landed back onto the ground, bright orange wings inset with yellow sprouted from her back, while an unusual emblem, the sketch of a sun, manifested on the front of her top. As Luan raised her power bracelet, the form of a black-colored dragon engulfed her in darkness and transformed her outfit from the everyday to a black two-piece form-fitting tank top and pants. As she landed, large black wings sprouted from her back, and she stood up, launching a spinning front kick and striking her final pose. So, as you can see, Night Shroud has been resurrected into the physical world, and the Dragon Warriors just escalated. They're escalated to battle the shadow race that have appeared at their home. Now, let's continue. This is a very good excerpt. It shows how one of the Dragon Warriors' friends ends up helping the Dragon Warriors get to where they need to go, and also what they can, and also explains why they need her help in the first place. Let's begin. Techna wondered as she tried to turn on the lights in the youth center she owned, Techna's cyberspace. The strange thing was, the lights weren't turning on. "What gives?" she demanded. "I paid my electric bill." Just then there was a knock at the door, and she wondered, who could that be? Then she approached the main entrance and noticed that Queen Morgana was on the other side, accompanied by the 7 girls who were the Dragon Warriors. She opened the door and said, "Queen Morgana, what brings you here?" "We need your help, Techna," Morgana explained as the others entered. "What's going on?" Techna asked. Morgana lowered her gaze before beginning her story. "So by collecting all 7 relics of darkness, you gave Nightshroud his full power back?" Techna realized as she and the others sat at a solitary table all together. "And that's about the size of it," the one replied. "And if we don't stop him here and now, the known world, as well as the rest of the planet, will ultimately be under his rule." "So what can I do to help?" Techna wondered. "You can let us into your secret room," Luan told her. "Right now we need all of your alchemical and technological know-how to track these shadow rays and at least delay them from achieving their goal." Just then there was another knock at the door, and Techna went to answer it. When she did, she was in for a shock, as 2 girls with wings protruding from their backs stood before her. One of the girls sported a magenta bob whose front tresses caressed her cheek. She wore a matching magenta two-piece consisting of a tank top and low-cut slacks that barely reached past her knees. A short purple skirt cut at 3 spots in the front adorned her waist, while her feet sported red satin pumps. The other girl sported lavender hair pulled up into a ponytail. She wore a tiger print form-fitting top of lavender and blue stripes, and a pair of medium violet pants. Arm-length handless gloves adorned her wrist, while purple satin pumps adorned her feet. "Dharma? Sally?" Techna realized. "What are you doing here?" "Well, it seemed the world was coming to an end," Dharma told her. "And we think you guys had something to do with it," and Sally added. "So, let me get this straight," Dharma began as she eyed Techna, Morgana, and the Dragon Warriors. "You guys somehow resurrected Nightshroud, and he summoned shadow rays from all 7 tribes to cover the planet in eternal darkness?" "That's about the gist," Morgana replied. "I called the 7 sages, and they've agreed to aid us in this battle." "Wait a minute," Roxy murmured. She rose from her seat, approached the door, and opened it, looking left, right, and in front of her. Then she closed the door and asked the twosome, "Where's Mitzi?" Upon hearing this question, Dharma and Sally lowered their gazes. Then Sally replied solemnly, "She's gone. Nightshroud banished her back to purgatory." Roxy's eyes went wide, and then she lowered her gaze. "We don't need your sympathy," Dharma declared. "You took away our victory." "Then it's only fair that we help them get their last," Sally told her. "I'm with you as well," Techna told the group. "Follow me." So as you can see, the Dragon Warriors need help from their old friend Techna, who they've been helping ever since they met her. And as you know, Techna is not one to turn down an offer for help. So she's about to help the Dragon Warriors defeat Nightshroud if she can. Let's continue. Oh. Okay. This is where the battle against Nightshroud begins. The 7 sages have been called in to aid the Dragon Warriors in defeating this ultimate evil. But as you know, now that he's fully powered, Nightshroud's not going to take resistance lying down. Let's read. Floating over the ocean's surface, Nightshroud made his way toward the dolorous shoreline, thinking to himself, after so many years, total victory is within my grasp. I can practically taste the fear and despair of humanity already. As he neared the shoreline of Deloria, the shadow below and the cloud above followed him, using the jet stream to quicken their pace. "Dark Ones, to the shoreline!" he ordered, as soon as he noticed the beach. "Deloria will be ours for the taking!" But just as he said this, an explosion caught him off guard, causing him to exclaim, "What?" As he checked around for the source of the explosion, 7 people, dressed in each color of the rainbow, flew toward him and blocked his way. "The 7 sages," he snarled. "Sorry, Nightshroud," Ruby, the only boy in the group wearing red, declared. "Your frequent flying miles have been canceled. Not to mention your hostile takeover bid," Topaz, the girl with yellow hair and wearing a matching dress, added. Well, Nightshroud remarked. "My prodigal son and daughters have returned. Do yourselves a favor and step aside. There is a world waiting to be remade in the image of darkness." "We're going to have to say no," Azura, the woman with dark blue hair and wearing a dark blue dress, fired back. "Then you're in my way," Nightshroud declared, and then raised his hand, firing a burst of electricity at the sages, who flew and scattered in different directions. After avoiding the attack, Ruby led Amethyst, the sage in purple, and Topaz on the offensive, with the 3 of them firing their magical electricity at Nightshroud, causing him to be thrown back. However, their enemy recovered quickly and raised his hands, sending out a burst of electricity of his own. But before the energy could strike the threesome down, Azura stepped in and conjured a force field bubble that shielded them from Nightshroud's attack. "Thanks, Azura," Amethyst told her as the force field faded after a moment. "No problem," Azura replied. "Now let's show them what we're made of." The sages regrouped and then flew around Nightshroud in a circle, each one shooting his or her own electricity at the Dark One in different spots. But then Nightshroud crossed his arms and surrounded himself in a force field of his own. "Sages, wait!" Azura exclaimed as the electricity from Aqua, the sage in blue-green, was suddenly ricocheted back at Ruby, who narrowly dodged it. "Hold your fire! There's a force field up!" "Do you really think your paltry powers are a match for mine?" Nightshroud demanded. He scoffed and finished, "What a joke!" Then he parted his hands as a black-colored flame appeared within his palms. He shot this flame at the sages with a shout of, "Dark Flame!" The 7 sages dodged the attack, but could not avoid the shockwaves of the blast. Those shockwaves overcame them, causing them to scream as they were flung in different directions and crashed into the water. Once he was sure that the sages were gone, Nightshroud decided, "That will teach those traitors to meddle in my business." Then he ordered the shadow and the cloud, "Shadow Lakes to victory!" And with that, he floated his way toward the Deloria shoreline. So as you can see, Nightshroud seems to be more powerful than the 7 sages, all of them combined, and he mainly dispatched them quite quickly, if you would say. Let's continue. I'm going to go deeper into my book to see what excerpt I can read. Here's a good excerpt. This is an excerpt where Maya and Chimera divulge their secrets to each other. Meanwhile, at the main entryway of the School for the Gifted, Chimera stood, deep in thought, telling herself, "This is it. We make our stand here." She felt tears prick behind her eyes as she realized, if we don't stop Night Shroud, it's the end of everything. My future, my world, the people I love, everyone I will have their lives destroyed. We have to win, or I won't have a future to go back to. "Chimera?" Maya suddenly prompted, piercing the girl's haze. "Yes, Maya?" Chimera returned. "Penny for your thoughts?" Maya proposed. "Oh," Chimera murmured. She sighed before explaining. "I was just thinking about where I come from." "That reminds me," Maya realized. I never did ask where you came from." "Well, where do you come from?" Chimera asked. Maya sighed. "You wouldn't believe me if I told you." "Try me," Chimera pressed. "Well," Maya began, hesitating for a moment, "I come from another planet." "What?" Chimera wondered. "Just what I said," Maya replied. "I come from another planet. A planet outside this universal solar system." "You're kidding," Chimera told her. "No," Maya insisted. "My planet was called Kinmoku. The people there were indirectly responsible for the night of cerulean skyfire." "You mean when the star silver fell to Earth?" Chimera remembered. "Exactly," Maya answered. "Those who mined the star silver eventually destabilized the planet's surface, causing it to implode on itself. As a last-ditch effort, my sisters were able to place me and my mother in stasis pods and send us into deep space. But they themselves were not so lucky." "You mean your sisters are—" Chimera began. "Uh-huh," Maya murmured with a nod. "They're dead. They were caught in the explosion that destroyed Kinmoku." Chimera fell silent, lowering her gaze, and Maya told her, "I don't blame you for not believing me, so—" "Oh, I believe you," Chimera put in. "I'm not sure you would believe me if I told you where I came from." Maya narrowed her eyes. "Where do you come from?" Chimera sighed. "The future," she replied. Upon hearing that, Maya burst out laughing before she noticed the other girl lowering her gaze. And then she realized with raised eyebrows, "You're not joking!" "I'm not," Chimera confirmed. "In my future, homegrown humans are no longer a myth, because Hiveria has perfected the technology of such a hypothesis. I am Hiveria's prototype, her daughter, so to speak." "Prototype?" Maya repeated. "You mean you're one of these homegrown humans?" Chimera nodded. "Not only that, but where I come from, you and I are survivors of Nitron's conquest of Earth. We lead the resistance of light." Maya shook her head as if to clear it. "This is all too much," she murmured. "Homegrown humans, Hiveria being your creator, the resistance of light? I don't know if I'll ever be able to understand any of this." "Luan knows my story," Chimera went on. "She and Morgana have kept it a secret, but I'm not sure they'll be able to for much longer." "Why?" Maya wondered. "Because everything we've done. Chances are I may have changed my future so much that you and I will never become friends," Chimera explained. "The resistance of light may not even exist anymore." "You mean if we defeat Night Shroud now?" Maya began. "Then his conquest of Earth will never happen where I come from," Chimera confirmed. "Everyone I love will be saved, but you, Meilin, Will, they may not even remember me." Maya placed a comforting hand on Chimera's shoulder and told her, "As long as we exist, we will have memories." Chimera smiled back, just as she heard a voice call, "Maya! Chimera!" twosome turned to see the other five dragon warriors fluttering their way toward them. "Everything okay?" Chimera asked. "All the students and faculty are safely underground," Luan told her. "Now the only thing standing between Nitron and the school is us." Just then another voice called, "Luan!" Chimera looked into the distance and noticed Havaria running her way, with Techna, Sally, Dharma, and the seven sages flying above her. "Havaria!" Luan breathed as she shared a hug with her sister, while the rest of the group landed beside the other dragon warriors. "Nitrox seems invincible," Havaria told the princess. "He took all of our attacks and didn't even flinch." "Even if he is invincible, we're not going to let that stop us," Chimera told everyone, causing the group to turn in her direction. "Don't you see? This planet is counting on us, and not just everyone in the present. Every Fellowship of Light before us has preserved the legacy and defeated evil in their part of the world. We're no exception. Time, space, dimension, it doesn't matter where evil rears its ugly head. No matter where Nitro tries to spawn, the Fellowship of Light will always be there." Upon hearing this encouraging speech, the expanded Fellowship of Light all nodded, one by one, as did Dharma and Sally. "All right, everyone," Luan urged. "Let's do this." So they make their stand at the Deloria School for the Gifted, and they've resolved to defeat Night Shroud, even if it means their own lives. So I hope you enjoyed these excerpt readings. If you want to see more excerpt readings, like, comment, share this video. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Don't forget to support the YouTube and the social media communities. And if you want to check out more excerpt readings, check out the playlist. Check out the official playlist in my channel. So says the leader. Signing off. Peace out.